The streets were his cradle, the night his muse. Glock 40 Spaz, a name whispered in the shadows, emerged from South Florida, his lyrics a raw testament to the struggle and darkness that birthed him. He didn't choose the rap game, it chose him. Each verse, a bullet piercing the silence, each rhyme, a defiant scream against the dying light. His voice, a gravelly echo from the concrete jungle, resonated with a generation disillusioned and forgotten. They saw themselves in his lyrics, felt the sting of his words, the raw, unfiltered truth he spat into the mic. His rise was meteoric, fueled by the desperation of his reality, the urgency in his voice. He wasn't selling a dream, he was living a nightmare and dragging you into it. His music, a dangerous cocktail of aggression and vulnerability, captivated a generation raised on the edge of a knife. He was a product of his environment, shaped by the violence, the poverty, the ever-present threat of oblivion. His music was a mirror reflecting the harsh realities of the streets, and the world, hungry for authenticity, couldn't look away. The internet became his stage. His music videos, raw and unfiltered, spread like wildfire. Millions of views, a testament to his growing influence. He was a viral sensation, his name echoing through the digital underground. From the dark corners of the internet, he rose, a digital phantom commanding attention. He collaborated with underground legends, each verse a battle scar, each collaboration a testament to his growing power. Glock 40 Spaz was not just an artist, he was a movement. But even as his star ascended, a shadow loomed on the horizon. Whispers of a rivalry, a brewing storm in the rap game. The streets held their breath, waiting for the inevitable explosion. The studio became his sanctuary, a place where the chaos of his life could be channeled into something tangible, something potent. Take it in. Blood wasn't just a song, it was a declaration of war, a sonic middle finger to anyone who dared to doubt him, to underestimate his fury. The lyrics dripped with venom, each word a carefully aimed dart. He called out hypocrisy, exposed the dark underbelly of the industry, and staked his claim as a force to be reckoned with. The beat, a menacing symphony of trap drums and haunting melodies, provided the perfect backdrop for his lyrical assault. Take it in. Blood became an anthem. Glock 40 Spaz wasn't just rapping, he was exorcising his demons, and in doing so, he gave voice to the demons of others. Playboi Carti. The name itself became synonymous with betrayal, with a rivalry that ran deeper than music. Their feud, a tangled web of disrespect, envy, and ambition, played out on social media, each post a carefully crafted jab. The fans, eager for bloodshed, fanned the flames. Every like, every comment fueled the fire, pushing the two artists further down a path of no return. The tension crackled in the air, a palpable energy that threatened to erupt at any moment. Carti, with his ethereal melodies and fashion-forward persona, represented the new wave. Glock 40 Spaz, raw and unfiltered, embodied the grit and grime of the streets. Diss tracks dropped like bombshells, each verse a lyrical grenade, each rhyme a carefully aimed attack. Social media became a battlefield, a digital coliseum, where the two rappers traded barbs and insults. Fans were caught in the crossfire, forced to choose sides in a war they didn't understand. The lines between music and reality blurred, the feud spilling out into the streets, leaving a trail of broken promises and shattered illusions in its wake. The beef escalating from online jabs to real-world confrontations. Whispers of altercations at clubs, of entourages clashing in the dead of night, fueled the flames. Fear and paranoia became unwelcome companions, casting a long shadow over Glock 40 Spaz's rising star. The cycle of violence, once confined to his lyrics, now threatened to consume him entirely. Just as his career reached its zenith, the whispers started, accusations whispered at first, then shouted from the rooftops. Glock 40 Spaz, the voice of the streets, accused of preying on the very people he claimed to represent. The allegations were damning fans, robbed, assaulted, stripped of their possessions by the rapper and his entourage. The accusations cut deep, striking at the heart of his carefully crafted image. The streets he once ruled now viewed him with suspicion, the adulation in their eyes replaced with fear and distrust. The authenticity he so carefully cultivated, the connection he forged with his fans, shattered like broken glass. The robbery allegations became a stain on his reputation, a dark cloud that followed him like a curse. Sponsors distanced themselves, fearing the backlash. The betrayal cut deep. The same fans who once chanted his name, who saw in him a reflection of their own struggles, now turned their backs. The love, once fierce and unwavering, morphed into something ugly, something venomous. Social media became a breeding ground for hate. Death threats flooded his DMs, each message a chilling reminder of the precariousness of his position. The line between artist and persona blurred, the consequences of his actions bleeding into his reality. He became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the fickle nature of fame. The streets he once ruled had turned on him, the love replaced with a chilling indifference. The weight of his actions pressed down on him, the consequences of his choices a heavy burden to bear. The legal system, unforgiving and cold, caught up with him. Arrested, charged, his freedom stripped away as quickly as it had come. The concrete walls of prison became his new reality, a stark contrast to the flashing lights and adoring crowds he was accustomed to. Yet even behind bars, his name continued to hold weight. His music, a haunting reminder of his talent, still blared from car stereos and earbuds. The streets, though wary, hadn't forgotten him. Inside, he was just another inmate, stripped of his celebrity, forced to confront the demons he'd long kept at bay. Time, once a luxury, became his jailer, each tick of the clock a stark reminder of the life he'd left behind. But even in the darkness, a flicker of hope remained. Prison was a crucible, a test of his resilience. He'd gone from internet sensation to inmate number, his world reduced to the cold, unforgiving confines of his cell. The streets he'd romanticized in his lyrics were now a distant memory, replaced by the harsh realities of confinement. The rules of the game had changed. Survival depended on a different kind of hustle, a different kind of street smarts. Trust was a luxury he could no longer afford. Every interaction a potential threat. The violence, the desperation, the constant struggle for power. It was all here, just amplified, distilled to its most primal form. He learned to navigate this new world, to read the subtle cues, the unspoken language of the damned. He hardened himself against the despair, clinging to the memory of his music, the faint hope of a future beyond these walls. Release. A word whispered in hushed tones, a beacon of hope in the darkness. Los Angeles beckoned, the city of dreams, of second chances. It was a chance to rewrite his narrative, to escape the shadow of his past. But the streets of LA held their own dangers, their own temptations. The ghosts of his past followed close behind, a constant reminder of the price of fame, the consequences of his choices. Redemption would be a long and arduous journey, fraught with obstacles and temptations. The industry was fickle, unforgiving. The streets, ever watchful, waited for him to stumble. But Glock 40 Spaz was a survivor. The future remained unwritten. Only time would tell if Glock 40 Spaz could outrun his demons, If he could transform the pain of his past into something meaningful, something redemptive. The world watched, waiting to pass judgment. Would he rise from the ashes, a phoenix reborn? Or would he succumb to the darkness that had always threatened to consume him? The streets held their breath, the world watching, waiting to see if redemption could truly rise from the ashes of self-destruction.